Hi everyone, my name's Antony Cummins and welcome to this video series. It's called Ninja Skills and we'll be working from the book Ninja Skills by Watkins. Now, why have we done this series? This is put up on my Natori channel for Natori students and anyone else out there who wants to get involved with ninjutsu. However, all the information comes from different places from across Japan, but it's all from ancient scrolls. All of it is from medieval primary documentation. I just made this book so that it was more accessible and easier for you guys to train in ninjutsu. So for Natori students, this means you can get a good understanding of the way of the ninja in the background and apply your ninja teachings to it. Today we're going to concentrate on lesson 3, and that is Tenchi Jin. Heaven, Earth, Man. Now I found the meaning of each of these in Natori documents, not the shinobi ones, the gungaku ones, and this is what it says for them. It says, so heaven represents time of heaven. So what that means is it's the date. What date is it? Is it important in esoteric cosmology? Is it important in the, the local community? All that type of thing. Does it have auspicious elements or is it a negative, bad day? Next is the 12 signs of the zodiac and the 10 celestial stems, the 10 heaven stems. Now, if you don't know what these are, we'll do another video on it in the future. However, basically, you get 12 animals and you get 10 sort of ideas, 10 concepts. And these are like fire larger, fire smaller, water larger, water smaller. There are 10 things. Now, these 12 animals and these 10 concepts mix together and make the dates and the calendar. So as a shinobi, you should be well aware of the stars above you, and you should also be well aware of what date and what is happening and the different element that is attached to that date. This goes back into your esoteric military study. So for us in Natori, that's Gunbai, okay, the esoteric military side of it. Heaven also means auspicious direction. So, you've got your terrain. Are we going this way? Is that good for today? Is it bad for today? And of course, is the weather good? Is the weather bad? You've got to look at it as, directions all around. Also, the energy of each season. Now, each season has its own energy in ancient Japanese ways. Now, the next is Earth. So, Earth. What do the ancient Japanese break this down to? So basically you've got distant and close. Is it far? Is it near? How close are they? How close are we? How close is the mountain? How close is the river? Things like that. Questions like that. So when you're out on your mission, you're looking around and you're like, okay, the river is this far away. Let's measure it. Take that information back. It's this wide, etc., etc. When we look at mountains, it's are they steep? Are they flat? Which side is steep? Which side is flat? How many sides are steep? It's basically the topography of the mountains and the area around you. Are things large or small? Again, are the mountains big? Are the rivers big? Are the valleys big? Is it small? Are they creeks? These are the things you've got to start looking at when you go off as a shinobi in there. How far away are they? How big are they? How steep are they? Because it's not you's got to go over it, it's the rest of the army. Lastly is man. So we've got Tenchi Jin. Man. Now what this means is basically the relationship between all of your men. That means that are your men happy? Are they not happy? Are the enemy's men happy? Are they not happy? How are the rewards and punishments done? Is there harmony among the people? So to round that up, basically you've got to come at Tenchi Jin and you've got to look that when you go out as a shinobi and you go out into the wilderness, the camp gates close behind you, clunk. You've got your furs on, you've got your tachi at your side, you've got maybe a team with you, you're going off through the valleys into the mountains, you've got to bring back information. So you look at Tenchi Jin, look at the heavens, the stars, what day is it, what the esoteric signs. You then look at the mountains, the rivers, the streams, you record and map all these, the pathways and the canals, that type of thing, the idea of waterways. And then the enemy, how are they with each other? What's their relationship? What's the relationship of the people in the towns and the villages? Those are the things you have to think about before you go off. You're not just literally scouting ahead like, okay, nobody's here. Okay, nobody's here. We're okay. You've got to be thinking of all these things. Your mind and the commander's mind have to be one. Right guys, that's Ninja Skills by Watkins. Keep up to date, get them all. There's 150 lessons there, and we'll keep going with this video series till we've got through them. Hi everyone, welcome to the Ninja Skills series. We're working from Ninja Skills. This is by Watkins, and we're going to be going through all the different elements of Shinobi no Jutsu. Today we're going to be working on lesson 52, which is on page 77, and we're going to be talking about the large hook. So the large hook, which is here, basically is a foldable iron bracket. That's all it is, with a ring on the end. Now what you will do is, the idea is, this is from the Bansen Shukai, this one, and the idea behind this is you will get one man to climb up. He will then get to the top of the wall or wherever it is, something, and he'll open this out, put the locking pin in, drop it over, and then tie the rope to it and let the rope down. This will probably be a ladder, a rope ladder that will come down. This means the shinobi will set these up, and either the rest of the shinobi team can come up and over, or it means that normal troops can come up and over. So you've got two situations here. One is a shinobi team getting ready to go in. The best climber climbs up, hooks on, rope down, the rest of them climb over by a ladder or whatever. Or the second version is that multiple shinobi go up with multiple of these, hook them over, and then let lots of ladders down, and your teams can go over. Now there is some theory in there from us, from what we've seen, because there's not as much detail in the original manual as there is of what I've just said. However, that is a large hook for climbing the walls, and of course the ring is to secure a rope too. So those two situations are put in by me. However, that's the most likely explanation we've got for this tool. But the point here is, you've seen the wall, you know how big it is, you've got get the correct tool or create the correct tool, and off you go, hook on over you go. Right, there's the book Ninja Skills. Keep up to date, get the book. That's the lesson 52. We're going to move on from that now, and next week we'll do something different. Hi everyone, my name's Antony Cummins, and today we're going to be doing Ninja Skills, and we're going to be doing lesson 135. Now this is understanding Onmyodo. So what is Onmyodo? We have to be careful here, guys. What we basically mean is understanding yin and yang. So the point is, we've all seen the symbol here, yin and yang symbol. We all know it. There's the light and the dark, but dark is inside of light and light is inside of dark, and the idea is they're actually in a water movement here, spinning round and moving in and out of each other. Now this comes from the origin of the universe, which according to Taoist theory is basically there is nothing or there is something. It does, let's not get into that debate, but it is created from this murkiness. There's a single thing that goes, a single creation that divides into two, which is yin and yang, which is in Japanese in and yo. So in means negative, yo is positive, and then from there in some systems you get the 5 elements, and in other you get the 8 trigrams, and then you get the 64, I think, hexagrams, and the idea is that it goes through that system. However, some just jump from 1 to 2 to 5 to many. It depends on the system. There are many systems out there. However, so what does this mean for the ninja? Well, first of all, everything is either yo or in Japanese society. So for example, your leg, the left leg is yo, your right leg is in. A man is overall yo with some in. A woman is overall in with some yo. Okay, so everything in Japanese society has some sort of foundation on, is it yin or yang? The moon is yin, of course. The sun is yang. It is positive, the moon is negative. Be careful on negative. What we don't mean is we don't mean that in the English term it has a negative idea. What we mean is it is the opposite, is the dark of light. It is the opposite, is the down of up. So as a shinobi, you have to understand out there is this world based on yin and yo, this yin and yang idea. But what this means is it actually forms into complex religion. So a lot of people discuss or debate whether Onmyodo, which is the Japanese art of sort of spell casting based on the in-yo magic, whether that is connected to Chinese Taoism. And the idea is Chinese Taoism came in and became Onmyodo. Now there's a lot of debates for this, there's a lot of discussions, but we're not interested in that itself. We're interested in how it affects the shinobi. So a shinobi in ancient Japan knew whether it was Taoism, Onmyodo, or folk craft. They knew there were spells, there were rituals, there were things to observe for in and yo. Now I'm not going to go through them all today. There are some there are some that are missing, there are some that we've got more research to do. But the point is that you have to understand as a shinobi that sometimes you need to call on, for example, Marashiten or Kanon, the goddess, and the gods and the deities. Sometimes you need to use in-yo spells, so yin-yang spells. And other times you need to use the idea of Shinto and Shinto shrines. And a lot of the time these are all mixed together. It's okay now in modern times we separate them out. However, back in the day a lot of them were mixed. Even today, guys, for Natori students, at Eunji Temple there is a Shinto shrine inside of Eunji Temple grounds, and the Buddhist monk Yamamoto is also a Shinto priest for that deity, the fox deity. Okay, so remember they're all mixed in. From this lesson, this is where you start looking at the cycles of creation and the cycles of destruction. Now here you start to look at how yin and yang move from the 2 into the 5 elements. Now be careful there, this is the Go-Gyo, not the Go-Dai. Go-Dai comes from Indian Buddhism, Go-Gyo comes from Taoist Chinese thought. So there are 2 versions of the 5 elements, and they are not connected, they do not match, they in no way match up. One of them has some foundation in Greece and then India, and they interchange ideas and it goes through China, Korea into Japan. The other one is based primarily in China and comes into Korea, Japan. So remember that they're very different, but shinobi would have understood both of them. But this one is the Taoist version. So later on in this series we'll start looking at the interaction between the 5 elements. But for now, just start to have a discussion and start to think about the idea of yin and yang, in and yo. Hi everyone, my name's Antony Cummins and welcome to this Ninja Skills series. Today we're going to be doing lesson 71 from the book Ninja Skills. And we're going to be talking about monkey fire, or lowering fire down from a wall. Now you've got to imagine, as a shinobi, you have got 2 tasks normally. One is offensive and one is defensive. And sometimes you'll be asked to defend a compound or a castle, other times you'll be asked to infiltrate it. So one of the tricks they used to use in Japan, because, you know, remember when the moon is a new moon, it is dark. So it's totally black and they can't illuminate big compounds, big castles. They can't do everything. It would cost too much in fuel. So you've got lots of dark places for shinobi to hide. So instead of creating lots of light, they make a portable light. And you've got to imagine the Japanese castle is there. And what they will do, this is the defending side, they will get a rope, normally specially treated rope to make it a little bit fire resistant, and they'll have a ball on the end or a hoop with a torch in it. The idea is they've got an attachment with fire in, and you're at the top. What I'll do is I'll put a picture here for you so you can get the idea, but you'll be at the top of a wall and you'll lower this down and you will look for shinobi, then you'll pull it up, then you move along lower it down, pull it up, or just take it along with you and put it. But the idea of this is you can put it right into the nooks and crannies, and it'll be like if you could see rats moving out the way, you could see Shinobi moving out the way. It's like, oh no, because the light will come out quite far, and you'll drop it quite fast, I assume, and then the Shinobi will be like, whoa, let's go, let's go. So what I want you guys to do is have a go at making a torch that fits into a ring, or get one of those, you know, metal spheres you can find. The idea is you'd have to treat the rope, and which they do have different recipes for treating rope, but the spheres where you can put a burning compound in, like your Donohi compound, you know, or something like with rags, and you can lower it down. Obviously it means it has to be quite long burning, so you'd have to experiment with that. But the point here is that you can, Japanese defense of castles and compounds, where you could lower things on. Now this is part of your light patrol. Remember, there are two patrols inside of Japanese castles. One is the light patrol and one is the dark patrol. The dark patrol have no lights and just look. The light patrol use light and look around. Okay. Right guys, if you want to get up to date with the series, this is the book, Ninja Skills. Go get it from Amazon. Keep up to date with the series, and I hope you're enjoying it. We'll see you next time. Hello everyone, my name is Antony Cummins and welcome to this video. Today we're going to be working on Ninja Skills by Watkins, and we're going to be going for lesson 9 on page 30. Now it's a respect for heaven. Now what do we mean by this? Now the ninja or shinobi no mono have to lie. So it is their job to lie to the public, to lie to different people, sometimes even lie to their own friends and family. But what they've got to realise is that while other lessons teach that they have to be truthful to themselves, they also have to be truthful to the gods. Now, of course, we're living in a medieval world, or the shinobi were living in a medieval world when we talk about this, and they have full belief in heaven, the way, they have full belief in Buddhism and the associated deities that come along with Buddhism that are attached from Indian religions that came across, and also, of course, their own ancestors and gods in Japan. So the idea is that, and often they use the word heaven to just mean like, you know, the way that those things beyond the veil of humankind. So a ninja has to show respect to heaven and to the gods. So the idea is that internally you have a moral compass. So that means you only do things that are correct for the mission, even though those things might be horrible, twisted, disgusting. You won't, for instance, kill and rob someone for your own profit, but you would kill and rob someone for, you know, if it really meant the Lord. But of course you have to make sure you're doing it for the right one. We're talking about, I'll go into that in a different lesson about basically the angel and the devil on your shoulders. So you're going along, you're doing these horrible things, you've got a moral compass inside, but you also need to understand that the gods see everything. It's like you've got a see-through skin, and your intentions are very easy to observe for the gods, and you've got to keep them pure. And of course you've got to do the correct rituals and celebrate the gods and make sure you celebrate their holy days and feasts and things like that. So being a shinobi is actually being a medieval warrior, which is actually being quite religious and having a very, very dedicated view on your faith about the gods. So go away, investigate Japanese religions, but of course that includes Buddhism, which is Indian. So you've got Indian, Chinese and Japanese gods to consider here, and of course the way of heaven and Taoism. So off you go, guys. Now there's a link for the book below, so click that and get a copy and follow along with this series. Hello everyone, my name's Antony Cummins and we're going to be doing Ninja Skills by Watkins. Now today we're going to be focusing on lesson 13, page 34, which is Be Like Water. So what does it mean? Now in old Chinese teachings, and of course this came across to Japan, we have this idea of water shaping inside of a vessel. You must have heard the famous one with Bruce Lee, like, it's be like water, my friend. And this is from the same teaching. Now the point here is it's twofold. So when you put water into a jug, it takes on the shape of a jug. When you put water into a cup, it takes on the shape of a cup. If you freeze water, it becomes ice. The point is that water adapts to its environment. So you might think this lesson is about adapting. Not necessarily. Of course there's adaptation, which means yes, you've got to move in. So as a shinobi, you're going to become a lower class person for a short time, or for the duration of the mission, take on that persona. You're going to become a different character, take on that persona. But also the reverse of this is the fact that you will be changed by your environment. So if you're forever murdering people, killing people, kidnapping people, burning villages down, slaughtering people wholesale, you know, basically, or lying, gambling, cheating, getting one over on the innocent. There's all sorts that can be done in a job of spying. But the point is that here, bit by bit, that will change the way you see the world. So where you might have started as an honourable, nice man or woman, 10 years down the line, you could be a horrible, horrific person who's used to murder, and it really may have changed you because you're used to murder and you're used to killing, or you're used to lying. So lying becomes a continuous thing for you. So remember, before last week we did respect for heaven and maintaining a principle of a core truth inside. Well, here you have to make sure that whatever you go into, you don't let it affect you, or you have to change when you go into it, but come back and change back. So that's the lesson of be like water. Now Isui Sensei from Natori talks about this, and also talks about the red room, the painting of the red room. So if you paint a room red totally, chairs, tables, cups, saucers, everything in wet paint, and then you walk around it and do your normal life, you're going to get covered in red paint. From opening doors, from taking off brews from kettles, whatever, you are going to get smothered in red paint. The point here is the same, is whatever environment you go into, it will rub off on you. So make sure you come away and wash off the red paint, i.e. whatever negativity you bring back from your mission, wash it off. So remember, these are fundamental concepts for the ninja and for shinobi, and these are the type of things you have to think about, especially before you start doing the skills and going out there. You've got to make sure that you are not changed by the world in which you venture into. Okay, click the link below to get a copy of the book. Grab one and keep up to date with the teachings. Hello everyone, my name's Antony Cummins and welcome to this video. This is a Ninja Skills video, and this is Ninja Skills by Watkins. So if you want to get a copy of the book, click the links below and it'll take you direct to the book itself on Amazon. Now we're going to be doing lesson 21, and this is using sound as camouflage. So shinobi always use sound as a camouflage for when they move. Now movement creates noise and it creates visual movement. So what you've got to be careful of is either move when it's okay to move. So for example, Isui Sensei tells us to go in at certain times, and the Bansen Shukai tells us to go in at certain times into an enemy house, and often this is times when servants are moving. So for example, if you want to infiltrate a camp, they say do it when it's being constructed, because movement is happening all over the time. When the camp is getting constructed, you be a labourer, work in there, get in there, and you're in the camp, because everybody expects people to be moving around. But when the camp's set up and finished, nobody's expected to be moving around, and they're expected to check everybody moving. Therefore, camouflage yourself inside the movement. But also camouflage yourself inside the sound. Of course, this is wind, this is rain, this is thunder, but also sounds that are expected, like hour bells. So the example we give in the book is the hour bell. So if you're on a ninja mission and everybody's waiting around the camp, now we know certain camps, it talks about this in Book of Samurai, have a bell with them. Some of them don't. But if you're at a certain size camp, it will have a bell. And then they will sound the hour bell. And the hour bell goes off in Japan. This hour bell is every 120 minutes. It's every 2 hours. So it's called a toki. And they will sound this off and you can move on that. So when they sound the bell, that can be the signal for you all to go. And it means that you don't have to physically be putting sound out yourself. The signal comes from other sound, and this of course hides your movement. Bing, okay, everybody move, and you go. That's the time we'll do it on. So use sound as a camouflage, but also use other people's movement as camouflage. By that I don't mean to cover yourself. What I mean is, if you're creeping along or climbing over something and you're scratching, making a noise, then of course it's better if the wind is going. It's also better if clappers are going, if hour bells are going. This will help camouflage your sound. Or if workmen are working, of course, camouflage your movement inside of movement. The point is that if you're going to move, people will spot that, therefore hide your movement in movement. If you're going to move and make sound, hide your sound inside of sound. So this is what you're looking for as Shinobi no Mono. Right guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Click the link below and get a copy of the book and follow on with this series. Hi everyone, my name's Antony Cummins and welcome to this. We're working from Ninja Skills by Watkins, and today we're going to be working on two lessons. Lesson 36 on page 61 and lesson 37 on page 62. Now this is about two-pronged illumination. So imagine you're a Shinobi no Mono. Now the Bansen Shukai talks about using a main performer and a lesser performer. And the idea is that when you move into a place, that you work in tandem. This teaching also comes up in the Gunpo Jioshu. Now, what happens is the main performer goes in, but the secondary performer will come along and put light from a different direction. Now, back in old Japan, you have at the top here a vent-like area slotted with wood or carved. You can see these in all old Japanese houses. So you shut the sliding doors, but up there, there's actually vents, if you like, for airflow or whatever, just to cover those sections of the beams. So a shinobi can creep up, can crawl in and visually look in and see, but there's a problem here. One is it's dark. Second is, because you're in such a precarious position, if people are awake and they think they can hear you, they'll draw their sword or they'll get their spear out and they'll be waiting. So if you just pop your head over with a torch, you're going to get speared in the face. So what happens is, the lesser performer goes on one side and the main performer goes on the other side. Now the lesser performer will reach up and put light in, and this light will go into the top. So what happens is, in the darkness, if somebody's waiting for you, they'll try and hit you. The most they will do is obviously slice your hands, and of course these things have got grates and you can try and get around the corner, make the danger as less as possible. But you're not looking in, you're literally waiting over. Or if you don't want to hurt your hands, you can put it on a small rod. So you can use the rod, put it over the top, and then the light will illuminate inside. Of course this is soft light, this is probably a shinobi torch or a lesser burning light. And the main performer is on the other side looking in. They can then see the light on the other side of the room filling this area there. So you can see, get back, the spear will go up there, it will miss this performer. You will see the guy was spearing him, so you can all jump back, go, run, get out. Or that light comes over, you can count, okay, there's that many people in this room, or something is in this room. So the idea here is to take with you from this lesson is main performer, lesser performer, and light source from the opposite side of what you will look from. The light comes here, you look from here. Yep, so light look or light look. That's the way it works with two performers. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Click the links below in the information to get a copy of this book and keep up to date with the series. Hello everyone, my name's Antony Cummins and welcome to this video. This is a ninja skills video. The book is by Watkins and it's out now. You can click the links below and get yourself a copy. Now we're going to be working from lesson 90 on page 124. Now this is about floating seats. Now there's the very famous Mizugumo, which is the floating seat around you, comes from the Bansen Shukai. However, that is only one version of multiple versions of floating equipment for shinobi. Why does shinobi need floating equipment? Right, shinobi go in rivers, okay? They may travel long distance by rivers, or they may need to get across rivers in safety. And they may need to go to sea, hide in the sea, or move in between boats at sea. So it is very, very important for shinobi to be able to work on the water and to be very good with watercraft. So what you have to remember here is if you've ever done anything outdoors and gone to a real river, like not talking a trickle, I mean a proper river, and it only needs to be yay big, you can die very easily. And I've been in precarious situations where you're like, whoa, and the river only needs to come up to just above ankles at a fast speed and you're gone. And you will be floating down that river. So you absolutely need floating equipment if you're going to spend a long time in rivers where you don't know if there's rapids at the end, mini waterfalls, rock formations, riffles as they're called, or dikes, dams, everything. Basically, get yourself water floating equipment. Today it's very easy. You just go to the local sports shop and you buy a buoyancy aid. We're done. It's absolutely easy. But if you're going to go more traditional, then there's lots of floating equipment. Some that go round like life jackets or buoyancy aids, some that go round the middle as belts, others that are tied on floating bags. In Natori Ryu we do have these. They are not in the Shoninki, they are not in the other shinobi scrolls, they are actually in the water scrolls and the encyclopedia. It shows you how shinobi would float with them, including floating with wood and logs, down rivers, all that type of thing. So the point of this is, if you're following Shinobi no Jutsu, you should be out there on rivers with floating equipment, floating aids. Use a buoyancy aid, there's no problem. Go to the shop, buy a buoyancy aid, it's not a problem. Off you go, enjoy. You know, it would just like be a day going out to a lake, going out to a river. Be safe, couple with each other, get a group of you together, but you should definitely be going out onto the water using crossing devices and ropes and buoyancy aids and getting used to crossing rivers. It is very dangerous if you go for a fast river, so be very careful guys. So do your best, keep it slow, keep it easy. But without doubt, shinobi were pretty much excellent at crossing rivers, because that's one of the main things they would have to do as they travel, or travelling down these rivers, or hiding at night. So remember, it's night time, it's black, the ocean is there, you can get out into the ocean, you can only see X far at night without a moon, and then you can only go so far into the ocean to check for shinobi. So if people are coming, get out, get your jacket on, get your equipment on, into the ocean, wait for them to pass, come back. Being in the water is a big part of ninjutsu. So get to it, get with it. I hope you enjoyed that. Click the link below and get a copy of the book. Hi everyone, my name's Antony Cummins and welcome to this video. Today we're going to be working with ninja skills from Watkins. You can click the link below and get a copy of the book and keep up to date with this series. Today we're going to be working on lesson 117 and looking at the term kajutsu. Here is the kanji. Now this, as you can see, is fire and skills. So kajutsu, not jitsu, it's kajutsu. So this means skills with fire. So here's where we get a little bit of a problem. Shinobi no Jutsu, ninjutsu, and kajutsu. Are they one and the same thing? Do they connect? In truth, they are two separate elements, but there are sections of kajutsu, fire skills, that cross into ninjutsu, shinobi skills. So just be aware of that. There is a crossover section. In fact, quite a large crossover section. And some ninja manuals tell us that kajutsu is the primary focus of ninjas. Ninjas are demolition, explosive, incendiary experts, if you like. So that's what they have to do. like last lesson we did about water crossing, you're probably crossing water to get to enemy camps. You're probably getting to enemy camps to blow stuff up. So you've got to be a bit of an expert at fire. So what I'm going to do is, it's a basic introduction. So we're going to look at different things. We've got ignition, which is starting the fire. Combustion, which is the process of burning. Incendiary, that which ignites fires and burns with heat. And then there's two more there, which I won't bother reading out, but because they're the basic three. So what I want you to do is just get used to those terms and then go through the other terms here and look them up in the book. Hopefully teasing you to get a copy of the book and get there and go through the other stuff as you do. Now, of course, we've got types of burning, which is slow burning, stuff like oils, pitch and sulfur. Quick burning, which is liquid fire, naphtha, Greek fire, etc. Explosion, such as gunpowder, which is, it explodes out from a pressurized cylinder, or, a closed cylinder. So, a shinobi has to blow things up. They have to create fires that are intensely hot. They have to be masters of recipes of gunpowder and Greek fire, for instance, that type of thing. Of course, they didn't have Greek fire, but the point is that they had tar-like fires, powders, ignition powders, poisonous gases. Lots of it is based on the Chinese system. So the point of this video and the point of this lesson is the introduction to the kanji ka and jutsu, meaning skills with fire, and starting to make you think about the different ways to use fire. So all the way from the basics of starting a fire with nothing, to the top of blowing up castles and getting into gunpowder magazines and destroying them, and even to burning ships at sea. So you're going to have to get out there we talked last time about our water floating aids, with waterproof bags, gunpowder, up onto ships, explosions, burning ships down, all that type of thing we've got to do. So I hope you enjoyed that. Go have a look at the principles of fire. Have a look on Wikipedia. There's some good articles on gunpowder and how it works. And of course, get yourself on YouTube and look at how to start fires, Japanese style, or with a bow, or with, of course, blowing through straws or bamboo. So if you've got bamboo where you are, hollow bamboo out and take that, make a fire with bamboo and blow into the embers. And you can see I have real fires in my house and I use metal straws. In fact, I have one here. And whenever I'm lighting the fire, I use a metal straw. It's an aluminium straw to get it right into the grate and heat, and just off it goes. It's really easy to light them that way. So I hope you enjoyed that. Again, click the link and get yourself a copy of the book and keep up to date with the series.